We are back, and my board op is having a mental breakdown out there because he looks like he's going to lose his fantasy football game this week, and I wish that was a joke, but I think that's the most emotional I've ever seen him in the almost year we've worked together, and we've actually worked together on and off for over a year as I was subbing in for Alex Jones. That shows how dedicated we are to something we're not really even involved in, and I'm the same way. I mean, I'll sit there and I'll watch a UFC card, and if my guy loses, I don't even have to be betting on it. I'm like, oh, how could he lose? We should be getting fired up about the fact that troops were on the street at checkpoints in Pittsburgh, that riot police shot tear gas onto a balcony and trapped students there. It's all up at Infowars.com. We covered it last week. It's all there. It's on PrisonPlanet.tv. It's on the YouTube. It's a Google search away. That's what we should be concerned about. But no, we're concerned about fantasy football and the upcoming playoffs. And by the way, the Cowboys are playing, and that's very important. I live in Texas. I mean, in Texas, again, I'm sitting in this bar, and what am I watching? They got a show for high school football out here. High school, who gives a rat's ass about high school football unless your kid's playing? Or you're a coach at the school, or maybe a teacher there. I mean, it's good to have school spirit, and I think that high school sports really can teach you a lot of life lessons out there, teach you discipline, are good in a lot of respects. I played high school baseball. We didn't have football, so I had to play soccer, play basketball. Some of the best times of my youth. But do I glom onto them? Am I, that John Cougar Mellencamp story? Glory days. Move on, you're an adult. And girls, high glory days. I mean, there's more to worry about than a football. There's more to worry about than A-Rod. We got global government, tyrannical global government, by the way, encroaching on our freedoms every single waking moment, every breath we take. It becomes a step closer to fruition. And we just lie back and suck our thumbs, and it's like, whatever. All right, let's continue to take your calls. It's 888-201-2244, 512-646-1776. Let's go to Eric in Pennsylvania. Eric, you're on the air.
Hello, Jason.
Hey.
All right, so I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I came across this video. It was an executive from Microsoft talking about how they're the ones who created the Fusion Center for Homeland Security.
Really?
And then I realized that Microsoft Windows 7 is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They designed this entire Threat Fusion Center, and I posted the link on your MySpace page, along with the link for it's called the 2008 ESRI Homeland Security GIS Summit, and it has Microsoft and ESRI there, and it's all about how this thing is so incredibly massive, Jason.
ESRI Summit, and this was...
I posted the link on your MySpace.
Just today while I was doing the show?
I just did it now, and it has a link right to Microsoft. You got to put a screenshot of this thing. I mean, it just says right there, we're spying on everybody. I mean, my hands are shaking. Okay, mm-hmm. That's how.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. At the break, I will sign into my MySpace over. Actually, you guys can probably pull it up anyway. Just type in myspace.com/Jason Bermas, and it will automatically pull up. It'll either pull up my profile. It'll pull up my profile, which actually has my comments on there. And if indeed what did you post? A JPEG?
No, I posted the link and then two links and then a little summary of it.
So then from
one of the links.
So then from my page, guys, you should be able to just click on those links and it'll take you to the Microsoft page. And we'll post them over here at PrisonPlanet.tv and Infowars.com. And I thank you, Eric. You always come up with good information. Go ahead. We didn't drop them, did we? No. Go ahead, Eric.
Codex Alimentarius is coming January 1st. So, I mean, no one talks about it really, but, I mean, it's, right there.
For those who don't know what Codex is, give them a little brief summary.
I'm not, I'm not the best person to explain it, but I will say that it's basically some kind of treaty that it's a treaty that regulates what we can ingest into our bodies, vitamin and mineral-wise, basically. It says it's going to bring in a bunch of GMO foods. It's going to make Monsanto.
Yes. Monsanto loves us, though, Eric. It's a good thing. They do. They really do love us. They're the greatest corporation of all time.
Well, they're probably going to run that. Microsoft's probably going to be the new government, because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like Microsoft is actually the new government.
Well, Microsoft is also going to be launching their Project Natal, which is a controller, which is actually a camera that's in your house 24/7 that has voice recognition technology and body scanning technology and will be hooked into the internet the majority of the time unless you actually unplug that Ethernet wire. Guess what? This is wired to the internet 24/7. They could log into it at any moment, and people are going to love it. They're going to eat it up because the technology is mind-blowing. But at the same time, they're going to be giving up their biometric information without even realizing it, Eric. All under the guise of a video game. This is reality.
My kids.
I know.
My poor kids. I love my children. Would you? Oh my God! We have to stop these people. That's all I got to say. Thank you so much, Jason. Please.
And we're going to post it. I promise you. They're on it right now outside. The great board ops out there. Let's go to our next caller. Let's go to Justin in Canada. Justin, you're on the line.
Hi there, Jason. I've seen this article a couple times, just things mentioning this in my local newspaper up here in Lethbridge I live in.
Okay.
It's just mentioning like the Buy American Act and stuff like that, and I know that it has to do with some sort of a trade deal between the United States and Canada. I'm just not really sure, like, exactly what it entails, but
you know what it is? It's really a further integration into this North American Union structure that they've been very hesitant to announce publicly.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, because I remember just reading stuff about how basically they're going to use NAFTA and just, trade type things like that to bring about this North American Union in order to sell it to people, right? They're going to be like,
they've already passed a lot of
easy.
They've passed a lot of the legislation. NAFTA's out there. CAFTA got passed. That's the Central American Free Trade Agreement. Got passed in 2004. The Securities and Prosperity Partnerships, that has already happened. The former president of Mexico, Vicente Fox, has stated that he was upset that it hasn't gone quite as far as he wanted to and that it's taking too long to do. They're all in favor of it. Our world leaders want this system where, again, Mexico, the United States, and Canada are integrated into a more of a European Union type development. Whether or not we're going to have an Amero or a hard currency, I can't tell you.
I'm sure it's not very far off now.
Well, they may surpass it to just go to that global currency.
I'm listening to stuff all the time, and I can't believe like the type of atrocities that are going on there, and I'm curious to find out, just how long it's going to take for this to bleed over.
Well, here's the deal. We don't like making predictions on how long things are going to take. These people are patient. I'm not one of these doomsday sayers. The world's going to end in 2012. Look out for Planet X. Oh, no! I'm not that guy. I think that they would be very satisfied if they don't get world government by 2012 to get it by 2025. Or if it doesn't come by 2025, they'll wait till 2050. For their chipped populace. They'll take their time. They realize that the public has to be acclimated. And if the public isn't properly acclimated, they may revolt. And they don't want a hard revolt in this country or anywhere in the world because that causes problems for the establishment and the elite. And then the majority of people that get burned are just frontmen. As those frontmen get burned, the establishment gets scared that the populace may get closer to the real power structure. The true tyranny out there. So, I don't like giving timetables, but I do know through crises, they're able to pass massive amounts of legislation and acclimate the public to these ideas much quicker. I mean, you look at 9/11, all of a sudden it's okay to have Homeland Security. All of a sudden it's okay to forcibly take your shoes off at the airports, to go through secondary and third screening processes. It's okay to be in a war in the Middle East for over 8 years now. That's okay. It's okay to set up permanent bases there and kill brown people. That wouldn't have been okay without a 9/11 event. I promise you that. And that's why in the Project for a New American Century documents, a bunch of these, elitists and globalists out there, their company men, wrote about this in rebuilding America's defenses, saying that this would be really hard to do unless they had a catalyzing and catastrophic event like a new Pearl Harbor. And then all of a sudden everybody's calling 9/11 the new Pearl Harbor. But that's a coincidence. Jason Bermas is a conspiracy theorist. He's obviously out of his mind. I mean, I can read the report and it does say what Jason says, but he's Looney Tunes. All right, let's continue to go to your calls. Let's go to Mark in Oregon. Mark, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Good. Jason,
as all right as I can be with all this stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's an honest answer, right?
Yeah.
As usual. And I'm looking around here, and you reported on, or a caller called in, the lady who formerly worked for FEMA called in about the Walmart nasal mist vaccinations.
Mm-hmm. And remember, a lot of people that wouldn't take a shot in the arm will take a nasal spray. That's like nothing to them. People, because they're worried about the people who even fear needles, that don't know the truth about the vaccination, but just don't like to get shots because they don't like needles. Oh, they've come up with the solution. It's nasal spray town at Walmart, the happiest place on earth. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah.